The Deadbolt Mystery Society presents The Warwick Recordings, a story about secrets and how they are uncovered in a strange neighborhood in an even stranger town.
It's Knox Carter for the last time. This is Warwick Recording number 11. I knew I wasn't a patient at Saturn Hills anymore. Whatever they had dosed me with had caused my past memories and current fears to meld and swirl into something straight out of a nightmare. The walls around me were solid. The door that held me prisoner was solid. The key to my freedom that I held in my hand was solid. I wasn't crazy, no matter how much they wanted me to feel that way. They had tried to kill me to restore Mary's life, and since that hadn't worked, they would now try to discredit me. What they hadn't counted on was that one of their members had developed a conscience and decided to help me bring an end to their reign of terror. Allie had given me the key to my escape and coordinated a rendezvous with me in a special place. That's where I would go. The key fit perfectly into the door's lock, and within seconds I was free. I peered out cautiously before venturing into the hallway. I wasn't sure how much time had passed, but I was fairly certain that the drugs they had given me had knocked me out for a while, giving them time to regroup after I'd killed several of their members. I listened carefully for any sounds of footfalls or muted talking, but the hallway was silent. No doubt they thought I would remain trapped down here until they could figure out what to do with me. I wandered down the corridor, not really knowing which way I was going, until I found the central hub of the underground tunnels where I'd been held before. The Owl King wasn't there. I knew why. I had stabbed him in the heart, ending his life. Goodbye, Preston Adams. I knew which tunnel led back to my house and wasted no time heading back there. No one was waiting for me inside my house, and no one jumped me when I opened the secret door in the bookcase. The cult must have cleared away the hidden entrance in my home on the night they came and kidnapped me, in case they needed to come back this way for some reason and do it without being seen. It wasn't something I normally would have been thankful for. However, this time it worked out in my favor because it allowed me to regain access to my home from the tunnels beneath the neighborhood. I headed straight for the wooden box in my bedroom and took all the knives this time. As an extra precaution, I even grabbed the claw hammer to take with me. Not really knowing how else to proceed, I did what Stone Gardner and Allie had both instructed me to do. I went back to that abandoned lot marked by those GPS coordinates, and I looked for roses. Now that I'd been directed to them, they were easy enough to spot. In a wasteland of garbage and scrap and overgrowth, the red rose bush stood out like a sore thumb. I headed for it immediately, uncertain of what I might find there. Right beside the rose bush was a heap of trash and metal scrap. After cleaning it away, I discovered a small wooden door set into the earth. I opened the door carefully and peered inside. It was another part of the tunnel system, or rather, it was the ending point of a tunnel. Cautiously, I shined my flashlight down into the depths and whispered, "Allie, are you down there?" She looked up at me from the depths of the tunnel and said, "You made it. Come down here, we have a lot to do." "I'm glad you remembered the clue I gave you. I was afraid you were too drugged to understand." "I was pretty wasted," I admitted. "It doesn't matter now," she said. "Come on." Carefully, I crawled down into the tunnel, unsure of what I was getting myself into. I trusted Allie for some reason. She had helped me escape the court of Moloch. That had to count for something. If the ritual room and the hallways comprised the bulk of the structure that ran beneath Warwick Court, the tiny room we were in now could have been considered a broom closet. There were maps plastered on every square inch of the wall, and red circles had been drawn around numerous places around town that I was able to easily pick out. "What is this place?" I asked. "A secret that only I know about," Allie said. "Well, me and Nicholas Falk, but he isn't talking." I gave Nicholas the GPS coordinates, and he wrote them on the back of that 2x4 for safekeeping. I tried to help him and his wife too, but the group got to them before I could do much. Then you came along, and I made it my mission not to fail twice. "So this is your little command center?" I asked. "Something like that." "I need some answers," I said. "What do you want to know?" Allie asked, studying me carefully. "Tell me your story," I said. "Why risk your life to help me? And why are you trying to take out the cult?" Allie nodded as if she'd been expecting the question. "I guess it's only fair to you to explain everything, especially since I have something to ask of you in return." She handed me an old Polaroid of a young man. He was dressed in army fatigues. "Who is he?" "His name is Johnny. He was my husband." "But this photo must be 50 years old," I said, letting the thought trail off. "Johnny and I were both part of the group at one point. Virginia and Harold really were my aunt and uncle. They practically raised me. They loved me, but didn't love Johnny. They didn't think he was right for me." I nodded, suddenly understanding where the story was going. "The group killed someone to restore my youth. They refused to do so for Johnny. They thought he was a bad influence. He was starting to have second thoughts about the group's methods. Everyone knew he was going to be a problem at some point. It seemed easier to just let him die. He was my everything. I loved him so much, and the group I had spent my life serving basically turned their backs on him. On us. When we needed them most." "You helped me in order to get revenge?" I asked. Allie nodded. "Add it to the list of things I'm not proud of. At least I did a little good here. After all, you're still alive. Those people, they deserved what they got." "How do I know this isn't just one big hoax?" "Deep down, you know it isn't," Allie said. "What do you want from me? Why bring me here?" "I know what you are. I've seen you in action. You're a monster who wears a human face. I saw how easily you killed all those people down there in the tunnels. You were smiling the entire time as if it was the happiest you'd ever been. I have to admit that part surprised me. I suspect this isn't the first time you've killed." "We all have secrets," I said, as if that explained it all. "You still haven't said why you led me here." Allie gestured to the maps on the walls. "I brought you here because of all the circled places that still exist." "What do those represent?" "The remaining members of the Court of Moloch who still live and can rebuild the group." "You want me to kill them?" I said, understanding immediately. "As a way of scratching your murderous itch and helping me to accomplish my mission here. 2 birds, 1 stone." "I'm still not convinced that any of this is real," I said. "I've had issues with my thoughts in the past. You know that." "What difference does it make?" Allie asked. "If it's real, you get a chance to kill with impunity and do some good. If it's not real, you still get a chance to kill a bunch of people who completely deserve it and have my help in covering it all up. Will you help me? It can be our secret. You can keep mine, and I'll keep yours." I thought about it for a moment, then pulled out my claw hammer. Truth be told, I didn't need much convincing. The night before, as I spilled blood in those tunnels beneath Warwick Courts, I felt more alive than I had in a long time. Possibly ever. I wasn't ready to stop. "Where do we start?" "An old dentist named George Moran," Allie said, pointing at one specific circle on the map. "I'll lead the way." And so that's how things began with me and Allie. Dr. Moran didn't even seem surprised to see me. No doubt he had already heard about what happened down in the tunnels and was expecting something like this to happen. I would like to say that his death was quick, but it wasn't. I made it slow so that I could question him and verify that everything Allie had told me was true. Strangely enough, Dr. Moran backed up Allie's story. As we continue on our mission to cross off all the names Allie has compiled, I am both excited and terrified. Will we expose other secrets in and around Warwick Court? Who knows? Maybe I'll make some more recordings in the future and tell you all about what happens next. Even now, I'm still not sure how or why you have come into possession of these recordings. Did I die sometime after committing my story to tape? Am I alive and using these tapes as a promotional tool for a new book? Did someone steal these tapes and release them into the world to reveal my secrets and out me for what I truly am? Are these recordings part of the police investigation and classified as evidence? The answers are unclear. But if I record more, maybe I'll gain some additional clarity about this and know who you, my audience, truly are. In the meantime, I'll keep taking my meds and trying to determine what is real and what isn't, like the shadow in the corner of my cell that speaks with Allie's voice, or the jolt of the electroshock terminals that cause the world to swim in and out of focus. Part of me thinks those are bits and pieces of memories from Saturn Hills that have been fused to the events of the present to become something brand new. Part of me thinks they might be real. All I know for certain is that I will keep digging for the truth, exploring the darkness that lies beneath Warwick Court, and recording every bit of what I find.
The Warwick Recordings are presented by the Deadbolt Mystery Society. Written by Jason Brannon. Edited by David Alderman. Narrated by Glenn Payne. Sound designed and mixed by Glenn Payne. Executive producers Jason Brannon and Sean Brannon. You can support us by reviewing the Warwick Recordings on the platform where you found us and by sharing this podcast with others. If you enjoyed the Warwick Recordings, we think you would also like our puzzle-solving mystery games, which are found at deadboltmysterysociety.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time.